Hello everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota in the US, and I'm here to bring you a live paper crafting class that is special because it's that time of month. It is the time of month, oh I got hair in my... It's that time of the month for paper pumpkin alternates. And sorry, I'm a little late. Sorry about that. Running a little frazzled this morning. Okay, we are going to do some alternates with the April kit. I have so many ideas coming out of my head and I couldn't create them all. And so I decided to do a video for today, and then the Friday video is going to be even more alternates because they're just coming fast. I'm loving this kit. This is an amazing kit. It's called Lakeside Retreat. It coordinates with the upcoming new Waterside Retreat suite of products debuting in the May through August 2026 catalog. And so you're gonna love it. There's gonna be so many options for you come May 5th as far as coordination and all of that. If you're a demonstrator right now, you get to pre-order that stuff. You get that stuff early. If you're not a demonstrator, you can get the kit and get that stuff early, the starter kit, so that you can get all those things early and play around with them with alternates. And then of course we have the dies. Let's see, January, February, March, April, May, and June. The April through June dies that coordinate with this kit as well. There's so many coordinating products. It's crazy. Hi to Trisha. Trisha Josephs is our moderator today, and she's here every Wednesday to help answer questions as we go. And so this is a perfect theme for today because I just go. It's really hard for me to connect with the comments on a day like this because we're just going to make a ton of things as fast as we can. I used to, in years past, pre-record these because there's a lot of content with paper pumpkin kit alternates in my videos. And I also try to share tips and ideas, but we're gonna move fast today, okay? I do have the description filled out with most of the information. There's still a few things that I need to add in there. Again, running a little frazzled lately, but we're going to have that complete by the time this video is done, or soon after it's done, so that you have links to everything you need. Right now, there are links to all the products except for the new products. There are certain products that are not available yet. Like I mentioned, those are May 5th, but I'm going to show them to you today, the ones that I'm using. If you have not gotten your kit yet and you're a subscriber, please don't fret. This is the time that they are arriving. And I tell you that, like, when I get my kit, I immediately create with it and then I share it. So I just got my kit as well, and I don't want you to worry about you not getting your kit yet. You can always check your tracking. And if you don't know how to access that, you can reach out to your demonstrator or to Stampin' Up! Directly, and they can track your kit to find out when it's arriving. This is officially the first kit that is available also throughout the world. We have gone global. Paper Pumpkin has gone global, and so it's really exciting because there's lots of people all around the world who are now having paper pumpkin kits in their hands. So excited about that. And thanks for commenting on my hair. I seriously had no time to wash my hair today, so I just put on one of my favorite wigs. I like this one. It's sassy, and I don't know, I should have worn a different shirt with it, but it's okay. We're just gonna go with it. I was actually gonna just come to you in my workout wear, and then I'm like, no, Rachel, try to dress up a little bit. Okay, so let's go down to the desktop and check out this kit. So this is the one that you, these are the cards that you can create. There are instructions in here to help you create these cards. There are enough pieces in here to make 3 of 3 different cards. And you can see that they've got that lakeside kind of theme to them, right? We have docks and we have canoes, oars and life jackets, cabins, bikes, you know, obviously the lake and some cattails in there. So, and it's also got some sentiments in there that are perfect for like addressing the male influences in your life, your dad, father type thing. So you can make Father's Day cards with them, you know, happy birthday for dad. But I'm a lake girl, so this is totally up my alley, and it's not masculine or feminine in my mind. I love it. So, oh, also I want to mention this. So we have a slightly narrower instruction sheet here. Let me bring out the one from last month. So last month's compared to this month's, can you see that? they've made them narrower. We are fitting them now into our new stamp and die holders for organization. And I'm gonna come back to that towards the end of the video. For now, I just want you to be aware that I'm gonna bring that up. We're gonna address this and talk about it, but that is towards the end. Okay, so let's go ahead and start creating, okay? I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit more. Thank you, Katrina. That's very sweet of you to say. All right, so we are gonna start with a card idea that I got from, and I'm gonna find the post. So in my Facebook group for my team, I have a team member, Joanne Pollock, who posts in there often. I love that she shares. It's so amazing. I love getting ideas from my team members. And she shared a card that has what's called double vision. They call it double vision, and I don't know who came up with that name, but it's clever and cute. And it's basically just cutting a design into strips and then layering it onto the front of your card so that you have that up and down kind of pattern. Do you remember those? Well, they still have them, but it's like if you turn it one way, you see one design. If you turn it the other way, it has another design. It almost reminds me of that same kind of feel, but it's the same design either way that you look at it, but it just has that feel to it. So we're gonna create with, oh my gosh, you guys, I left some things upstairs. Hang on. I hope you can still hear me. I'm gonna keep talking and see if this microphone travels throughout my house. Oh my goodness sakes. So my kids are sitting upstairs. That is how crazy this is. This morning is going crazy for me. Did you hear me the whole time I was up there? I hope so. So we're gonna create, and we're gonna take, let's see here. So yeah, let me know if you heard me as I walked all the way up the stairs. I'm so sorry. We're gonna take and create with this piece here and make another version of this card. Now I'm gonna peek at your comments to see if you heard me. All right, so, trimmer. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by comments because I'm reading something from a team member. Okay, so this piece is one of the pieces in the kit for making this card here. It's this background design. And the wonderful thing about this is that it has a 3.5 by 3.5 size to it, which easily cuts into 1/2-inch strips. And that is a majority of what these cards are that you're seeing with this double vision technique. They are 1/2-inch strips. And what you do is you keep them in order as you're cutting. Okay. Oh, you couldn't hear me? But Mary says you could. Oh, you did. Okay, great. Some of you couldn't, some of you could. Interesting. Yeah, I went all the way upstairs to grab my kids because I'm still designing with them. And they're all over my living room because I have no room in my craft room. I had to throw things off my desk behind me right before the live started because I'm just like in creative mode. And when I get in creative mode, I don't sleep. Do you guys do that too? Like you keep going. It's boom, boom, boom. I faded as I went further away, but I could not hear you. I could hear your voice, but not the actual words. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm sorry about that. Basically, I was going upstairs to access all of my stuff that I left up there. We're going to use Herma transfer or Herma repositionable adhesive is what they call it now. And we're going to lay these pieces onto a slightly larger layer of cardstock. And I'm just going to put one at each end with a 1/16-inch border around the 3 sides. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit more because I'm guessing this is too far away for you to see. Just a little bit. Oops. Okay. And then I'm going to try to piece these together, and hopefully we will come together without any gappage. So I'm going to put these right next to each other. A repositionable or temporary adhesive, I think, is key for doing this technique. Now, if you don't have something like this, which you can find in my favorite extra links, but so if you go to my website at stampyourartout.com, I do have a page called My Favorite Extras, and it's under the Shop tab. And then you can access these extra products that Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell. but that I have links to on Amazon or elsewhere. Okay, so you see that? We have a slight gap there. So then you have to kind of decide which way you're gonna go. And I see an even amount on each end, but I think this one's a little narrower over here. So I'm gonna shift these. I'm just gonna kind of shove them over. And you don't have to worry about too much gappage like that. I mean, it's a small amount, because once you start raising them up and down on your card, you don't really see that gap very much. In fact, I'm just gonna shift that one just a little bit more. And see, now the gappage is very little. We're gonna start with, let's start with this one here. And I'm gonna add this with some permanent adhesive. So I'm just gonna put a couple at each end and lay that down. And then we'll go to the next one. And the next one is gonna go up onto dimensionals. You do get some dimensionals in your kit. They are mini dimensionals, I believe. I don't know, because I don't have my kit stuff in front of me anymore. It's all upstairs. This is the size that I think you get in the kit. But I'm using the larger ones just because this is a 1/2 inch size strip. And so we're gonna go ahead and add those all the way through. Okay, and I'm gonna put one right over my temporary adhesive. That's why I stuck it in the middle, so that because I knew I was gonna put like a dimensional there. But if you're not gonna put a dimensional over the adhesive, then you'll want to rub that off. And then when you place this down, you're gonna place it right next to it. And I like to hold my fingers on the two sides so I can see that it's even as far as reaching the border here evenly, right? You wanna have that even border. And then we'll peel up the next one, do the same thing. And lay that down. And I still got that little gap in there, but again, I'm gonna make up for it at the end. Oops, that one's not quite even enough. So it's a little tedious as far as getting these to connect to each other perfectly. But you also have that give because of that up and down, right? It doesn't have to be super perfect. All right, so as we're doing this, I do want to mention that with alternates, I bring in extra products. Obviously, you have to, right? If you're going to create doing other things with your kits, then you bring in extra cardstock, you bring in envelopes, because oftentimes the envelopes have really pretty designs to them and you want to use them more as like a patterned or designer paper. You bring in extra adhesives, typically because the adhesives that you get in the kit aren't like this kind of stuff, right? Where it's easy to just roll out. Sometimes they're like little glue dots if they're small. Oh, I got a dimensional. Okay, there we go. And then I bring in extra blocks. You do get a block with your first kit as a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. It's a D-size block, so it looks like this size, only it's a little thinner. It actually looks like this, okay? But you're gonna want more just for ease in creating. Okay, let's put a few more on here. And then, of course, you need tools. Like if you're gonna do different cards, you're gonna cut things up, you're gonna probably need a trimmer, you're gonna need bone folder, take your pick tool, scissors, that kind of thing. If you're not gonna do alternates with your kits, and a lot of people don't, they get these kits because they're convenient, they're easy to store, you get everything you need all in one little box that you can tuck away under your bed or wherever. But if you don't, you just need a scissors, that's it. Even the instruction manual comes with a ruler in case you need to trim up something to a certain size or whatever. You have everything you need in your kit except for a scissors, seriously. So you can make all those cards that were on this little guy here without anything else but a scissors. So don't get overwhelmed if you're a beginning crafter and you're watching this video and you're like, wait a minute, I have to have all that? No, if you like a certain card, just get what you need for that certain card, right? So I added pecan pie cardstock. This is 3.5 by 3.5 for the actual design layer. So I went 3 5/8 by 3 5/8 for the layer. Another thing that I want to do is I want to create a new card base, okay? Oh, these are the fun embellishments that come in the kit. They're like little pebbles. They're so cute. So let me bring in the trimmer, and we're gonna zoom out because we're way too close. And we're gonna cut this in half. I'm gonna cut this in half at 5.5 inches. It's 8.5 by 11, thick basic white cardstock, which is nice for our card bases. And we're gonna score it at 4 1/4. Scoring is the light blade on our Stampin' Up trimmer. So we'll use the light blade and we'll put a little crease through there so that we can fold it. Now we're gonna take a bone folder. And if you don't have this tool, you don't have to get it. It's one of those luxury tools, but you can use like the back of a butter knife or a credit card or whatever to help you crease it to make it nice and crisp. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna cut one of those envelopes, because I told you the envelopes, they're like designer paper ready to go in one of these kits, right? Look at these pretty envelopes that come in the kit. So if you're gonna start to cut those envelopes, you're gonna need to invest in some basic white medium envelopes from the Stampin' Up store. And again, extra products are linked in my description of my video. But I'm gonna show you how to use this as a designer paper. This is the easiest way. I mean, you can peel right here to separate it, to open it up, but you get a lot of tearing and sometimes you waste your paper in certain areas. So we're gonna take and put this into our trimmer so that the edge of our envelope is covering up the dark little border on each side of that channel of the trimmer, which cuts away about 1/16 of an inch. Flip it over, put that flat side up to the straight edge of your trimmer again, and cut. And now you have 2/16 inches off the sides, which allows you to easily open up that paper. For this card, we want to use the main section. So I'm going to trim off this side, and I'm going to cut to 4 1/4 because we want this to be a full layer on the front of this card. So 4 1/4 inches cuts off the flap, plus just a little bit of that crease from the fold that would have flapped over if you would have used it as an envelope. And then we're going to turn it in this direction, and we're going to cut at 5 1/2, which cuts off just a little bit extra again. Now, we're going to add this with some permanent adhesive, and you can use Seal, which is what I've been using. But if you're more of a glue person, you can totally bring in your multi-purpose liquid glue, and you can add your adhesive this way instead. Okay, you can just add it throughout if you want to. The nice thing about multi-purpose liquid glue is that it allows you to kind of shift and shimmy until it's dry. And it dries quickly, but it gives you a little bit of time to get things in the right place. With Seal adhesive, you can peel it up a little bit later, like even sometimes a day later or more. But with the glue, once it's down, it's down. So it depends on when you like to manipulate things if you have to shift. Okay, we're just gonna lay that on there, then we're gonna flip it over, and we're gonna see if any edges come out, and I don't see anything, but if you did, I like to use like a long bladed scissors and just trim up any excess that's kind of going beyond. All right, we have our card, we have our really pretty designer paper on the front, and now we have this layer, and this layer is just gonna go on with, again, glue or Seal, whatever your flat adhesive of choice is. And we're gonna add that so that we have an even border on all 3 sides, the top, the 2 sides, like that. And then we're gonna grab a couple other things from the kit. And this is the part I didn't have prepared beforehand. Again, I'm upstairs in my living room. You should see my living room, you guys. I wish I could take you up there with my camera. But it is, I've taken over all the couches. This is what happens when mom gets her kits. They're just all over the place. And I do them up there instead of in my crafting space because I can be with my family. Okay, I'm not finding the piece I need there, so we're gonna grab from this box, another open box. We've got it. This is one of our labels. It comes with lots of labels, and we're gonna use this for the label on this card. Peaceful Pine is the color that you get in your kit for your ink. What? You get ink? Yes, you get ink and you get stamps. So let me show you. Oh, see, there's my adhesive. There's the dimensionals and the embellishments that look like little pebbles. Oh, you even get tear and tape in here, you guys. That's awesome too. Here's the stamp set. That's what the stamp set looks like. And then here is the ink. okay? Peaceful Pine. So Peaceful Pine ink, which is really small, but that's why these kits are awesome, because you get, oh, you guys, it's one of those days. You get ink that stores easily. So this is the perfect size for storing lots of different color inks away. But if you want to invest in the larger one, it helps you to create a little bit faster. This particular color is not available until May 5th. I do need to mention that in my, I think I forgot that, Trisha. I think I forgot the ink in there. But that's probably because you get this ink anyways. But the Peaceful Pine ink pad, it's a newer style, it opens up, it's magnetic, really cool to open, awesome. Okay, we're gonna grab this and we're gonna grab the stamp that says older, wiser, better. Yep. And we're gonna stamp that down in the center of this. Can you see where I'm going? Yeah. And I'm gonna stamp that so it's left justified, like that. And we're gonna add that to this section of our card. Why am I doing it left justified? You'll see in just a minute. Let me grab another dimensional. I'll grab a mini one this time, and we'll just place that right about there. And then I'm gonna put a couple little glue dots here and here. And then we're gonna place this on here like that, so that this piece lines right up with the edge of our picture design, okay? So that's where the glue helped, because I could shift it. Did you see how it kind of slid into place? And then we'll press that. I did get that backing off, didn't I? I hope I did. Anyways, it's held up by the lift of the dimensional and by the glue on underneath. The next thing I'm gonna add on there is an embellishment that is not in the kit, but these are the pebbles, or these are the embellishments that you get in the kit, and they look like little pebbles. And I wanted something kind of glitzy to add onto this, so we're gonna add in the pearlized faceted circles. I'm just gonna grab my take your pick tool, press that gummy end into a little ball, and we're gonna grab like one of these clear ones here and place it over here. And that is the reason why I left that space open, because I wanted to be able to put just a little bit of glitz there as kind of like an asterisk on the card. Okay, then we are gonna add the pebbles. You get two different designs on here, but the way that you turn these kind of like makes them look different. It's really cool. So we're gonna place a couple in here so that they're layered over each other, placed at the bottom of these little weeds here. And then see, if I take this piece and I turn it that way instead, it just gives a different look to the rock, right? You could have a tall rock, you could have, you know, a flat rock, you can have kind of a hill rock. So change your little guys around so that they look different every time you add them, and they'll look like you have a whole bunch of different kinds. It's crazy cool. All right, so there is that card. Older, wiser, better. Perfect for a birthday. They do, in fact, have a birthday sentiment in the stamp set, so you could then put happy birthday on the inside. Oops. So these are the stamps. These are all the images that we're using for stamping our card. If you find that you love these kits and you didn't get the April kit as a subscriber, because you have to be a subscriber to get the full kit unless you wait months and months and months and chance that they might have a full kit put into the online store. But if you missed it, then you can get the refill kit if you're an active subscriber. So you would activate an account now, or make sure it's active, and then you can purchase the refill kit, which was available as of like an hour ago when I was quickly putting the supplies in the description of the video. So it does not come with the stamps and the ink though. So this little spot here and these would not be in that kit, but you can like supplement your own inks, right? You can grab inks from the online store. You can use words from other set. This is mostly a word set. There are some images in it. There's birds, there's these cattail images, and then there's like this border here. But this one you could easily change up and use with other stamps, because most of the imagery comes from the consumables themselves. So that is the double vision card. I've got a couple of those, and then this is done with the front of one of the card bases in the kit. And I'm going to grab that card base right now, if I can. Oh my gosh, I don't know which box I'm grabbing from. So normally I do like this, I want to double, triple, quadruple the kit kind of thing. But I just started going to town yesterday and I created like some fun folds. Are you ready for some fun folds? We're going to do a fun fold next. But for this one, I just took and cut this in half. I separated it into two pieces, and then I trimmed evenly all the way around because I really think that this is nice and centered and I didn't want to upset the balance, especially on the two sides. So I cut off, I believe, 1/8 of an inch on this side, 1/8 of an inch on this side, and then you could probably trim up the top 1/4 of an inch to get a slightly smaller piece. And this slightly smaller piece measures 4 instead of 4 1/4 by 5 1/4 instead of 5 1/2. Cut it into those strips. They're all 1/2 inch strips. You're not going to get that even look as far as like your middle strip isn't going to be, like there's not going to be a middle strip, I should say. Okay, so it's going to go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. It's going to end because you have an even number of strips on this one, and this one we had an odd number. So, but I don't think it really affects the design too much. I did stamp some birds in there before I trimmed. So you want to stamp before you cut. So if you're going to add some weeds down here or you're going to add birds, you'll want to stamp those first and then you can cut your design. Also, we have butterflies on there. Where did they come from, Rachel? Those are new too, you guys. This is another product that will debut on May 5th. It's called the 2026 through 28 in color butterflies, and you get all these pretty colors. We actually have Peaceful Pine, which is that green color in the kit, white, obviously, and I believe there's a third one. Which one is it? No, I can't think which color it is. Was it cantaloupe? Oh, you know what? I might have used crisp cantaloupe because there's like a Cajun craze color in there and they look pretty close. And so here's the crisp cantaloupe color in there. It's the darker of the two pinks. I could see, using the green ones in there. You could use the white ones in there if you want to, but I have one up and one down just, for variation. All right, so there's that card, those cards. Let's move to the next one. I'm gonna toss this stuff aside. Okay, next. Let's bring in that white cardstock again. This is that other half of the thick white that we just cut. And I'm going to trim 1/8 of an inch off of one end. We're going to trim it at 1/8 of an inch. I'm sorry, 1/4 of an inch. So now we have 8 1/4 instead of 8 1/2 in this direction. Okay. Then we are going to score, and I'm going to make sure I tell you correctly, because that would be horrible if I didn't. Oh my gosh, everything's falling, you guys. All right, we're gonna score at 2 1/2. Use your light blade for this. So 2 1/2, 3 1/2, 4 1/2. You're putting 4 score lines in here, and 5 1/2. Now you have two ends. You have an end that is 0 to 2 1/2. And you have another end that is 0 to 2 3/4, okay? This is gonna be your front end. This is gonna be your back end. And we're gonna fold like this all the way through. So it's up and down, up and down, up and down, so that you get this look. Okay, so the wider end is over here. The narrower end is over here. 2 1/2 inches wide, 2 3/4 inches wide, with 1 inch in between. Then you're gonna fold it. You're gonna use your bone folder, make everything nice and crisp. Let's move this out of the way really quick. And we're just gonna get those folds nice and sharp. I'm not gonna walk you through this whole card, but I'm gonna refer you to my upline, Susan Camfield's website. I was gonna put that link in the description. I'll do it soon after this video. And she's gonna help you finish this card, and she has lots of samples of this fun fold. This fun fold And let's see if I can find that page. I'm going to actually show you the page if that's okay. I am promoting this gal because she's amazing. She's my upline, Susan Campfield, and she just did a whole post on this particular fold. I'm going to give you just the steps of the basic parts, and then you're going to come over here and you can see more details about that fold, because again, I have so much to share today. So check it out, all this fun stuff. And if you scroll down even further, she used the coordinating Waterside Retreat suite for one of her samples. Here it is. So now you get a little taste of what's in the coordinating products that will debut on May 5th. Okay, let's come back. So she's calling this the Floating Tier Pop-Up Fun Fold card. All right, my other little tip for you on this fun fold, I love this tip that she gave too, is that this is where all those little divots are gonna go. So we're gonna take and pull that out, open that up so that we can focus just on this section here. We're gonna score at 1 inch just in this section. Use that that scoring blade and not the cutting blade. Then we're gonna go to 1.5 inch. So it's 1 inch, then a 1/2 inch, then 1 inch, then a 1/2 inch. So each time we're moving over, we're doing a 1 inch gap, then a 1/2 inch gap, then a 1 inch gap, then a 1/2 inch gap. And you're gonna get that all the way through. Do you see those little lines on there? I think you can see them. So we're gonna keep going. We had 1 inch, we had a 1/2 inch. We're gonna do another 1 inch, which brings us to 2.5, and score right through that. Then we're gonna go a 1/2 inch. And I'm just crossing over this middle crease line. I'm not even going score line to score line. I'm just crossing over this score line here, the one that I pointed out to you. Okay, that was what? We have 1 inch, 1/2 inch, inch, 1/2 inch. We need another inch. So that brings us to this mark. And then another 1/2 inch. All right, we are good. So those measurements, if you want to know them, but they would be 1, 1.5, 2.5, 3, 4, 4.5, okay? Now, do you see how those little score lines are on there? This was a perfect tip that she gave to all of us, team members that got to see it first, but you're just gonna take and fold it and then use your scissors to snip so that you're connecting and making that cut fold line to fold line without going beyond, okay? I'm just gonna cut a couple more. I'll fold them the way they need to go, and then again, we'll show you the finished card, and I'll refer you to her post for this Floating Tier pop-up card. So you have this kind of look going on here when your card is folded shut. Oops, hang on a minute. Hang on. Oh, that's because it goes this way. Okay, fold out, fold out. She's gonna give you better instructions. I'm trying to do this super fast, you guys. Okay, so now I'm gonna fold this closed, and I'll try to explain it to you again. This is the narrower side right here, 2.5. You fold that one back, fold this one forward, fold that one back, you know what I mean? And then you're gonna pop these out every other. And you're gonna flatten down in the back, flatten down here, but you're gonna get that kind of like tiered look, and you're gonna get a card that looks like this. This is the sample that she designed. I got to create it, I'm so excited. So that's how that looks. And with the paper pumpkin kit, you can make a card that looks like this. This is all paper pumpkin pieces, no dies, no embossing folders are in here. It's straight kit pieces with extra white cardstock, your trimmer, your scissors, and then just adding pieces, okay? Oh, I did bring in another color. I brought in the Misty Moonlight ink because that is the blue, that is this piece here. So now let me talk about the pieces. I kind of gave you a start on the fun fold. Let me talk about the pieces. This is envelope paper. This is paper from one of the kit card bases. This is paper from one of the kit layers. That's where this box comes in. Okay, so this box, I have all the pieces that you would need if you wanted to make one set of cards, and they are sitting right here. So let me go through the pieces now that come in this kit, and you get all of this times 3. Here's that blue piece. I cut 1 inch from it to get that. These little layers in here are, of course, for building the designs on the fronts of your cards. You get like little signs. You get a circle layer that goes underneath this piece. So these 2 layer together like that. You've already seen this one. We'll pop that out. And then look at these. Oh, I'm going to grab these too. Look at these cute little oars, you guys. You have little oars, a life jacket. You get this fish that looks like it's on a sign for like a fishing store or a fishing, I don't know, just maybe a sign at the beach or something, right? You get a bicycle in here. And we'll just get rid of all those. Okay, so then you have these that came from some other sheets where you pop them out of there. These are for your sentiments. And then you have your envelopes, which we already cut into one of them, and then your card bases. We've already looked at this card base. This is the one where I cut to get these sections in through here. And then again, this is the envelope. All of these images are the stamps that are in the kit. You get some bird images, the word Dad, Happy Father's Day. So I made this look like a sign here. This is a 1 inch by 5.5 inch pole, which I added another pole piece from, stamped Happy Father's Day on this white layer, which I added to the sign piece, and then kind of propped up these oars to extend the look going up there. I wanted the birds to be seen, and when I stamped them there, I'm like, shoot, I can't have my sign too high. So I made my word Dad down here. Then I added these other pieces so it would cover up the word Dad when the card is closed. And of course, I added some pebbles down here at the bottom. So that is a third alternate idea with this kit. I'm going to put that behind me. And all of these are now going to go upstairs, and I'm going to double or triple whatever I can do to get lots of cards from the kit so that the video on Friday you'll see will be all of that. Okay. Next. Oh my gosh, we're at 11:40 already. Okay, the next thing I'm going to share with you is another fold based on a swap card that I received from Suzanne Hertzler. And she calls it the Puzzle Fun Fold card. I did look this up, and I saw that Susan Campfield also has a post on this idea, but it's a slightly different one that she has. So hers was called the Puzzle Slider Fun Fold. Whichever name you want to Google, that's what you can find. We're going to use a new color called Peaceful Pine. It's one of the colors that's featured in the kit. And we're going to cut this at 4 1/4 inches. So we're cutting in this direction now. Let me zoom out. Oh, that's really far out. All right, so we're cutting in this direction at 4 1/4 inches. So we're cutting it in half this way now with our dark blade. And then, and I'm going to change hers up a little bit. I'm not doing it exactly the way Suzanne did it with her cuts, but I think I like this way a little bit better. No offense, Suzanne, but it allows for less layering on the front. We're going to cut this so that we have 10 inches instead of 11. So we're going to extend the arm of our trimmer, cut at 10 inches, which is chopping off 1 inch on this side. And then we're going to score. And we're going to score in at 2 1/4 inches from each end. And I'm checking, making sure. 2 1/4, 2 1/4, 2 1/4. And the only difference here is that Suzanne had about 1 inch over here and 1 inch over here. And then she added 4 panels to the front. I'm adding just 2 panels to the front, and I'm going to use these wider sections in place of 2 of her panels. Again, just less layering. I like to keep, oh, got a little blemish on there, but we're going to cover that up, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, I like to keep things as few layers as possible so that postage isn't so high, right? And it's not that 1 extra layer is going to do much, but just saying. Okay, so we've got that. And all together, this piece, and look at that, I have it on my metric side. This piece measures 5 1/2 inches across. by 4¼ inches tall. It fits into our medium white envelopes, which I shared with you earlier, okay? All right, yay, we're catching the live, Janet, how are you? We're also gonna cut another layer for the inside of our card because we have a very dark base for our cardstock. I wanna have a light layer on the inside. And soft seafoam, which is this green, the other one is Peaceful Pine. Soft seafoam is one of the colors also that is mentioned as a coordinating color with the kit. So let's add this on the inside. And then we're gonna trim up a little bit more from here. And we're gonna trim this piece to 3¼ inches in this direction. And then we're gonna cut it in half. And half of 4¼ which is how wide this is 2 1/8. So we're gonna cut it right here. And now we have our extra puzzle pieces that are gonna go on the front of this card. This can be used for something else. So we'll set that aside. Clean off our desk a little bit, Rachel. Alrighty. I think we just have, yep, we just have one more piece to cut, and that is our card kit from our card layer from the kit. And I think I have to grab from this pile again. But that's okay. I did grab, okay, good. Just making sure I have my one of each behind me so that I can create with that later. So this card piece from the kit, which you saw on the last card in a slight amount, we're gonna use this one now, and we're gonna cut, and I'm not gonna mess up because on my finished one, you'll see a mess up that I did. But we're gonna cut this in half exactly first at 4¼ inches. Both sides, same, doesn't matter which one you use. Okay, next, we're gonna trim a 1/2 inch off this end. And it matters. If you trim a 1/2 inch off this end first, then this piece is gonna be too short for what we need. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna cut a 1/2 inch. I'm using this side of my trimmer to look at that. That should make this piece 5 inches, okay? So this is a piece that we need for the card. And then we're gonna trim a 1/2 inch off of the other section. You can trim from either side, it doesn't matter. Or you could trim 1/4 inch off each end if you want to too. If you trim it at a 1/2 inch, then you can make more use of that piece, right? Because it's bigger, but it depends on what your needs are. If you want to do 1/4 inch, then you kind of keep these lines that are in here a little more even looking. I don't care, so I'm going to trim a 1/2 inch off one side. It's going to make it 3 3/4 inch. So this can be saved for another card. All right, next, we're gonna trim down the middle of this piece, and we're gonna trim this middle, not this middle. So this piece now measures 5 inches wide by 3 3/4. What is half of 3 3/4? It is, let me check here. Half of 4 is 2, so it's gonna be 1/8 inch shorter than that. It's gonna be 1 7/8. Okay, we want 1 7/8 to make these two pieces. Now at this point we want to keep them together because again it's a puzzle type of card, so we want to keep these layered together. You see what I mean by that? Kind of, I mean, especially if you're going to have a design that connects with itself. The leaves are carrying over into different areas like that. Okay, so if we're going to do that, keep these pieces stacked the way you want them. I think I want to go this way now because I think I like this better at the top, the shorter gap here. So I'm gonna lay this over here on the side, and I'm gonna make sure that this piece is the wider of the two. We want a 3 inch and we want a 2 inch. So this is my 3 inch piece. This is my 2 inch. This one's gonna now be my 2. You know what, I already messed up, you guys. It's okay, we can keep going. This is gonna be my 2 and this is gonna be my 3. We can keep going, we can keep doing it. But if you want to not do what Rachel did, you're gonna put your ink and stamping images on first. Trying to fit it in. The advantage to pre-recording is that I don't do these mess ups. I can edit them out. Okay, so we're layering them together so you can see kind of the idea of what I was gonna do beforehand. I was gonna take a blending brush and I'm still gonna do it, but it's gonna be a little bit different as far as the end result goes, because you don't have to worry about stretching it. You can stamp exactly where you want it to go. So maybe this is a better thing, because in the original steps, and I'm going to put this on something dark so you can see it better. In the original steps I was going to share, I was going to say, hey, do all your stamping and inking first. Please don't fall over. And then you can cut it in half, but just think of the 1/4 inch gap you're going to have, because there's a 1/4 inch gap that's going to occur between these pieces. They're going to occur between all of these pieces, actually. It's going to gap out like that when you get your card put together. So when you're stamping, you have to keep that in mind. So maybe it's a good thing that we're not doing all of our stamping first. Okay, you've got your Peaceful Pine ink. You're going to open it up, grab your blending brush, and I'm obviously going to get ink on my little mat here, but that's okay. And you're going to start going in a circular motion. I'm going to do it on my grid paper first so I can get all the dark ink off first. And then I'm going to come in here and just add a little spray of color down here. It's going to allow the image that I'm going to put on top of it to pop out a little bit more if there's some darkness and some shading behind it. I can come up into this area, keep them together. Maybe I won't get ink on this. Doing pretty good at keeping it all on the paper. Okay, next, you're going to take your stamp. And we have a stamp in our set that looks like weeds, or cattails, I should say. Okay, we have our cattail stamp. And we're going to grab our bicycle. Where'd the bicycle go? And grab this one here. I work with 2 kits, if you're wondering. Some of you ask me that sometimes, but see how the bicycle stands out more here than it would if it was over here. Kind of like fades into the paper too much, but here it stands out. So you're going to place your bicycle where you want it to go, and it obviously can't be beyond that cut mark, right? But it's going to, like, not too much, I should say, but it's going to extend into the other area of the card. It's just that we're going to have a gap there. There's going to be a gap. So kind of position it where you want it to go. Also think about your sentiment strip. Your sentiment strip is going to be one of those green layers again. Let me grab one of those. Gosh, Rachel. All right, so that's going to go down here. That's that matching color of soft seafoam, Peaceful Pine and soft seafoam. One of them is kind of a cooler green, which is the Peaceful Pine, and the other one is a warmer green. But they work well together. When you'll see this card is finished, you'll be like, oh my gosh, they look great together. In fact, this is Peaceful Pine on the edges here, the little greenish line. Okay, so now that we have our pieces in place, we can take our stamp, ink it up, and we can kind of see where those little cattails can go. And I think I'm going to have some going across here. And I can put my bike back in place. And then I'm going to have some going back here. And again, this is going to cover it up, so you're not going to see those weird little ends. And the bike is going to cover up parts of it, right? It's going to appear normal when it's done. We'll just go with that because we're losing time. And we're going to start assembling this. Hey, I only have one little spot to clean. Okay, so let's take our pieces. We might have to wait on that last 1, 2, 3. I have 3 other cards. We'll do the short, quick ones, and then I'll save the other one for Friday because we want to talk about organization too. Okay, for this piece here, we are going to do a little bit of ink blending and stamping. We'll quickly just add that up from the grid paper, scrap paper. I don't have grid paper on my supply list because that particular product is now sold out. Stampin' Up is transferring to a new style grid paper. Oop, I keep closing that. We need the cattails in here too. We'll do a couple through here. Like that. And maybe a couple over here. Like that. You see how I kind of varied them in height, but made sure that the tallest one was still touching the very bottom of the paper. Now we can assemble. All right, let's add these puzzle pieces first. So for your puzzle pieces, you're going to add your taller one or your longer one, I should say, in the upper left and in the lower right, because you have 2 of them. You want to be careful of, you know, where you're putting your adhesive up here, because you don't want it to go beyond, right? So we're going to take and put some adhesive back here. Oops. Got to have a flat surface, I guess, to put adhesive on. So just being careful that your adhesive isn't going to go beyond where you need it to go. You're going to connect up here. And the most important part is that these edges right through here are meeting. This you can always trim off excess. Press that in place. This is where you don't want to go beyond, and this is where you don't want to go beyond. You can flip it over. I do have a tiny amount there. I'm going to take my long bladed scissors. You can use a snips too, like a tinier scissors, but I think a longer blade helps to, you know, get your cut more even as you go through. Do the same thing with this one. So this one's going to get glued down here, and we kind of have some guidance with this piece now as to how far we can go up with our adhesive. And we're going to add that in here to puzzle piece that all together, making sure everything's staying close together in this little section here. And then you can trim up any excess that goes beyond that edge. Let's add this to the inside of our card. That's going to go in here. Fits in there perfectly with an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. This little guy can be on the right or the left. I don't know why, but I just think it looks better on the left. And that can go right there. Close that up. Add these pieces in place. This one obviously in the lower right. And you can do more adhesive on your pieces if you want to, but as you add them, you want to have an 1/8 of an inch all the way around in those sections. And do your connecting as you go, because you don't want to put them in the wrong place. You don't want to have things flipped over. You want your puzzle to look connected as you go. See how this one has to go this way instead, right? And we have a little haze of green down there too. So as you add that, just make sure that it's all flowing with your design. And then this piece, obviously here's a little bit of a haze. We'll add that down here. So the difference between mine and Suzanne's is that she has 4 extra panels here. This is a 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 inch square piece that she added on here. And I chose not to do it, but she only has a 1 inch here, which kind of gives some uniformity to the inside when you're adding a designer paper strip though, which she added here with the 1/2 inch strips. So it's your choice. It's just a matter of, you know, what you feel works for you. And then we can add our dimensionals. And I'm running out of my big ones. I'm gonna have to grab my other sheet. So these can get added in place here. And it's okay if they go beyond in this section. You just don't want it really to go, well, you could, but you're gonna have like, you won't see that cool little zigzag in here. This will get stamped and added down here, and then you'll add some of those beautiful little butterflies, those in color butterflies, and you'll end up with a card that looks like this. So there's my flaw. I cut in the wrong spot. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 butterflies. You are an inspiration, and there's the inside of that card. Alrighty, next. Boy, I'm just dropping things everywhere, you guys. Oh my goodness sakes. There. Okay. Let me show you these 2 cards, and I'll explain them. So my personal Paper Pumpkin subscribers, I love to gift things to once in a while. So I will send them in the mail a little packet that has some consumables in it, some things that they can use to do some designing in their next kit or future kits or whatever. So it has a little note, it tells them what products I've included, and then they get a various amount of things. So I added double-sided, this is, I believe, Smoky Slate, and then Peaceful Pine, two-tone cardstock, and I should have said two-tone on this too. They're both two-toned. And then I have a sampler of the designer paper from the Waterside Retreat Suite, the products that are debuting on May 5th. This is a designer paper pack that coordinates. See the cute bicycle in there? There's also birds, and there's life jackets and oars, and oh gosh, all kinds of fun things. Plaid papers, right? So lots of coordination going on there. You have double sides. So there's other sides of the paper. I added in some little blue hues of blue floral flower embellishments. They come in different blue colors. And then some new shimmer paper. So what did I use on these cards? I used one of those pieces because it's 3x4 on the front of a folded piece of cardstock. This is the two-tone cardstock, torn so that you can see both colors. That's just a little background there, stamped and punched out with the 3-banner punch. Everything is falling down on the right side of my desktop, you guys. This is the 3-banner punch. So I used this one to punch out that sentiment. And there are 3 sentiments in this stamp set that work super well with this punch. So it's a recommended punch for sure. Here's the flowers that are added in there. I didn't use the shimmer paper on these, but that's the only thing that I think I didn't use. But I just wanted to give you these ideas because once you run out of consumables with your kit, once you use up all your pieces, you're always going to have your stamps and your ink still left behind. So you can use your stamps and ink to make sentiments, imagery. That must have fallen on the floor too. There's dust. But then you can use some coordinating products to just keep on creating with these kits. So, oh, this one here, there's like 2 papers that worked really well with this gray color. So mine happened to have lots of birds on it when I did my sample, but one of my subscribers might not have birds on theirs because it was a big sheet where the birds kind of flowed across the paper. All right, so, and then there's like 3 other designs too that are double-sided. Depends on what they got. But those are some extra card designs for my subscribers in particular that have been with me consistently December through March. But also, for those of you that want to invest in some of these coordinating products, you have really fun, simple designs that you can do. This little layer here is the only one. Oh, this is 2. These 2 layers. So this here and this here, those are up on dimensionals, but everything else is flat, torn. It's really just kind of really simple, but still striking with that designer paper. So those are the other 2 card samples that I want to share with you. I did have another one ready to go, but it's actually going to go better if I share it with you on Friday, because it kind of takes a little bit of time for one thing, but it's just, it's pretty cool. Okay, so let me bring in, this question is often asked of me. This is my binder. It's a binder that Stampin' Up sells. It's the 6x8 binder. It's like a photo album, I guess is what they call it. And it comes with some pocket pages, and you can get refills for it. And so I use the pocket pages that have 2 sections in it for this, and I save my other ones for my color sample binders because they're the same size. But you could take and, you know, find some other coordinating, maybe Project Life, Becky Higgins type pages that insert into here that just have these 2 sizes, or you can get the ones that are just full pockets. They're like the 6x8, it's a full pocket. So what have I been doing with this? Well, I have a full pocket in the back, and that's where I've been putting these inserts, these little direction booklets. And then I start in the back. This is August 2025, Farmhouse Florals. There's my stamp set. Let me show you what I've been doing, because I'm going to continue doing this even though things have changed up. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. But I've got my little 6x4 white piece of cardstock. I've got my 6x4 window sheet. And the reason why I do that is because the 2 layers of plastic that you get with your stamps to help protect them, your stamps kind of float around more. But if you can stick it onto a larger piece, it stays in that pocket much better, and it doesn't slide around in there. Like, there's no sliding. This is the inserts we've been getting for a couple years now. And so I just take and I stick that with that so that I can see what that stamp set is. Been doing that for a long time. Okay, so let me do that with this one here. I've got my Last month we had 2 stamps. So I have the Fluttering Garden one, and then we had an extra one in here. So I'm going to take my 4x6 out of there. I'm going to grab this, peel the flimsier one off of there, just stick that right onto this plastic piece that is the same size. I'll eventually label it. I'll stick it in my pocket, and then I'll add my imagery right behind. So this didn't have the stamp set image on it before, but Stampin' Up! Has been doing a transition with their stamp and die cases. They used to provide for us these little printouts that you could print onto your printer paper. I just printed this morning, trimmed off a little bit at the top and bottom and the sides. And for our older stamp set cases, you just separate the plastic back here. You slide this in. Trisha, I'll totally understand if you have to go. If you haven't left yet, go ahead. I'll try to ask questions at the end. And then you slip that in there like that. You close this up, and you now have a container if that's your preference for storing your stamps. So you can take your Fluttering Hummingbird, that's this one here, okay, and you can put it in there and store it like that on a shelf. That's what some people have been doing with theirs. And I've been providing those just because Stampin' Up! Makes them. I don't make those inserts. I've just been sharing them in one spot where if somebody forgot, they can come to my website and they can access it. So again, at stampyourartout.com, you click on Paper Pumpkin, you go down to Stamp Set Case Inserts, and you can get these things that you can print off. This is the new case. This is the new style cases that the stamps are coming in. So, saw a post in the Paper Pumpkin fan club, and it was getting a little stressful because people were worried and they were like, what do I do? What do I do? Okay, so you've got your stamps, I should say. Okay, you've got your stamp set. You're gonna take some paper. This is what I've been teaching people to do with their other stamps because Stampin' Up! Is not providing that little insert sheet right now, right? And I say right now because I'm hoping that they'll eventually hear us, but 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. Because a lot of us just want a little insert. So I'm going to take and cut some white paper, 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. It's the exact same size as my plastic sheet that I have my stamps on. Then I'm going to take a light color. I like to use smoky slate for this. I don't know why. I think it wipes off pretty easily. Maybe that's why. I just like this one. Doesn't stain. Then I take and I put it on my table so that the stamp image side is up, and I start inking it. I ink the whole entire set at once. Then I put that away. Then I put the paper, where did I put that? Oh, you guys, I just had it. Oh, here it is. Okay, then I put the paper on top, matching up corner to corner. And I start rubbing. And if you don't have like a brayer, like a roller type thing, you can use your clear block, but you just want to press evenly throughout that whole surface. You're eventually going to flip it over and peel it up. And now you have your images so that when you put this away, and here I'm going to quick do cleaning. I had that up in the bathroom. I was working on getting my chamois wet. We're just going to use our older scrubber here. And we're going to do it like this. It's easier to clean with a chamois, I'll tell you. But I'm just going to wipe this across here. It's one of those inks, though, like it doesn't even get on my fingers. It's so cool. I really like the smoky slate for this. Okay, so now this is clean. I can take and put this back on the top. I can flip it over and keep those paired up with each other. I now have my little guide. I can take that, I'm gonna close up this ink pad really quick. I can take that and again, peel off this back piece here and stick it to a larger piece of plastic, but it will fit, still, it will fit into here. So I can continue to do what I'm doing. I have my image that I've created before I start using my stamps, or you can stick them back on your sheet however you want, the pattern that you like, and then do your guide sheet like that. But I will have that to use. Or this is Stampin' Up's intention for those people who have been using this method, okay? the transition is moving to these cases. Although you can still purchase these in bulk. You can, I think it's like a set of 5 or something, I don't know. But you can get extra stamp cases like this, and you can continue to keep your stamp set organized with these older DVD style cases. If you're gonna move to the newer ones, these fit. Okay, so you can take and open this up. You can add this in here with your stamp set images in this direction if you want. Slip your stamps in there. You can even slip your extra consumable supplies in there that you don't want to use. But that's how you can use these new flyers. You can use them in that way to help organize your stamps. Okay, I hope that that helps. There should be ways to you know, figure out how to transition from anybody's storage situations. Hopefully you are figuring that out, but you don't have to necessarily stick your stamps on there. They do fit, at least for this one they do, but I always keep them between the plastic, and I make a little matching sheet right now because I don't have that extra little slip of paper. So I use that as a guide, and I just use this as a reference. If you're not sticking your stamps directly on here, you're not going to have the chance of them getting damaged too, this sheet getting damaged. Sometimes when these are fresh and new and they're super sticky and they have some of that factory stuff still on them, and you stick them directly onto a sheet like this and you peel them up, you might accidentally peel away some of this stuff. So be careful if you're going to attempt to stick them directly onto that paper. I don't think that that's the actual intention, which is why they still give you this extra plastic. So keep them between the plastic and use that as more of a reference in my for my recommendation. Okay, one more thing I want to share with you. And Trisha, if you're still here, because again, I'm not looking up in comments quite yet, but if you're still here, again, know that you can leave if you have to, but I want to introduce to you the coordinating dies. I am using these often in my exclusives that I share with my Paper Pumpkin subscribers and team members, and I'm looking for the die set right now, and it's gone missing. It's a set of dies. Let's find it. Lots on this desk, you guys. Oh my God, here they are. Here they are. Okay, so these are the wonderful scene dies. They coordinate with the April, May, and June kits. This one here is the one that is meant to coordinate with this kit. It's a little wooden sign. Isn't that stinking cute? Here they are against black cardstock, a little bit easier to see this way. You get flowers, butterflies. You even have this square and this little tiny rectangle stick thing that come out of this when you die cut it. You have the word wonderful. You have all these little stars here. And if you want to, after you've die cut this piece, you can actually get a little, I don't know if you can see that there, but you can get a little 4th of July fireworks image. It's not die cut, but it's embedded. It does like a little design in the paper. So that's a fun one, and it's going to coordinate with next month's kit. I'm going to pull that up so you can see it really quickly on the computer. Next month's kit, and again, you want to be subscribed to get it. Make sure your subscription is active by May 10th, but it's called Sparkling Celebrations. Again, subscribe by May 10th. And it has like, I don't know, kind of a celebration feel to it. It's got floating lanterns, and I have a feeling that's what these little guys are for too, is this fun little fireworks thing. Okay, and then again, there's the coordinate. Oh, here, you can see it in this image. There it is, right there. Oh, so much to tell. So at this point, I'm going to ask, because I don't know if Trisha's still here, do you have any questions? I will put links to Susan's blog post on that fun fold card that I didn't describe very well, but I intended for you to see her blog post for more of that instruction anyways. I will, I'll even put a link to my old post that shows you how to use the old stamp set cases for organization. That's it as far as links go. I think those are the 2 links that I'm missing right now. Okay. Oh, Trisha, you are still here with us. Bless your heart. As far as like specials going on, new products debuting May 5th. The March kit yeah, the April kit, sorry, the April kit refill is available right now, so nab it up if you want it. Creatives tutorials, they always release on the first of the following month. So we just got our kits, all of us that are in this group, we're creating our alternates with it. You're gonna love these alternates, you guys. So I'm stinking excited about the one I've created for it. I already have my alternate ready, and those will be shared in a couple weeks to our subscribers and our team members. And if you want to purchase the tutorial bundle, you can. That's it. Let me move you over to the calendar. Let's go over to the calendar really quick so you can see what's coming up. Today is April 22nd. I don't even think I said the date at the beginning of the of the video. Anyways, it's April 22nd, and the next live will be in 2 days in the evening. So I hope you don't miss it. I'm going to share another set of alternates with this kit. This is Paper Pumpkin Week, I guess. And then we move on to next week. I just have one video on April 26th. Then, let's see here. Can I scroll through this? Oh, here, month. Oh, here we go. This is the calendar that you guys use, so I'm not used to it. There we go. Then we go into the following week. I have 2 videos. The week after that, 1 video, then 2, then 2. So just click on the calendar link that's in the description of the video so you can see when my lives are coming up. Let's give a big thank you to Trisha Josephs for being here overtime on this one. And I'm so sorry that I went overtime, but I hope that this gave you lots of creative inspiration. I'm stinking excited about this kit. I'm so excited. And I will let you all go. We will see you in a couple days, okay? Take care, everybody. And now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.